Hello there, and welcome to Make It Plain with Tracy. Map it, map it with Tracy is a brand new week and a great opportunity to reflect and get things done differently to achieve a better outcome. I love to start with that phrase because I listened to Miles Moore some time ago, and he says one thing he loves about newness, new weeks, new months, new years especially, is that it's renders every failure of the past useless. It makes all that trouble of yesterday become history and gives you a fresh new slate to start all over. So I picked that very strongly and I always run with it. So once again, welcome to this new week and new episode of Make It Plain with Tracy. All right, so let's get started with our conversation for today. So have you ever wondered, what is it about that guy down your street that is always so prim and prom, so structured? You can almost bet he will drive past at 6:30 a.m. You can almost bet, he will back at a certain time. You can almost, predict their routines. Okay, so the secret of such a lifestyle, such a, will I say, precision is discipline. Discipline is telling yourself, I will stick to this rule, I will stick to this routine, I will do this at that time, and irrespective of how you feel, irrespective of the distractions, or circumstances around you, you do everything possible to stick to that routine. That is discipline. So I would like to talk about discipline this week. All right. So, like I said, the ability to behave in a certain manner, to walk in a controlled way, to behave in a certain way, it's discipline, and especially when it's consistent. Some of you who have pets, especially dogs, I see and I hear, that there's some kind of training to give to your pets, and they conform over time. That is discipline. So, discipline is a skill that is acquired, that you train yourself to achieve and acquire over time. So that's repeated behavior, that consciousness to try to do it right or do it in that way you've defined for yourself, brings us to the topic of habits. Habits are not learned overnight. Habits are behaviors or attitudes you put up and repeatedly do so. And I think people have said, is it science or so, that have proven that if you do something consistently for 21 days, it becomes a habit. So if it's something good you do for 21 days at a stretch, it becomes a habit. If it's something bad, you also do it consistently for about 21 days, it becomes a habit. So we need to be careful, the habits we consciously or unconsciously acquire, because discipline is that principle or that tool that helps you stay strong on a habit. But the good side of this conversation is that that discipline can help you acquire new habits, replacing old habits. All right, so let's take this conversation further. I would like to share some quotes by some persons who have looked at the trend or the attributes of habits, and they can confirm that your habits will determine your future. That's from Jack Canfield. Say your habits will determine your future, not your desires, not your goals and visions. At the end of the day, is the habits, the behavior that you repeatedly show or display that determines your future. Another personality in the person of Jim Rohn says motivation is what gets you started, but habits is what keeps you going. Very interesting. Motivation gets you started, habits keeps you going. That's from Jim Rohn. Very important. And the last one I'd like to say is that your words become your actions become your habits end up becoming your values, and your values become your destiny. So it's the small habits that matter. How you start your day, how you live your life, how you talk to yourself, how you treat yourself, how you treat others, and so on and so forth. So I'm really dwelling on habit because discipline, habits are kind of synonymous, or they go hand in hand. Okay, so you can acquire a new habit, build a new habit, develop a new lifestyle by discipline. Okay, so that's how it works. So it's really important to be disciplined, however. And there's a book by one of our renowned writers, Stephen Covey, who talked about the 7 habits of highly effective people. 7 habits of highly effective people. I won't go into those details today, but I want you to watch this. Highly effective people have habits. So discipline can help you develop habits, but now the outcome, the end point of having good habits is that you become highly effective. So watch out for my next series. Next week, we'll continue this conversation on habit effectiveness, and you can reference Stephen Covey, who talked about the 7 habits of highly effective people. So I hope you found that useful. Habits, discipline, habits are what you become over time by virtue of your actions. So don't be careless this week. Be conscious and learn new habits. So until same time next week, stay blessed, and I love you, Tracy Dapper.